right, we're going to start on our backs this morning, which I feel like in my mind we haven't done in a while, but we probably have because it's my favorite. So we're going to start on our backs, but we're going to start in a starfish position. So you're going to think Shavasana, legs wide and long, but then bring arms up and overhead nice and wide. So you're going to give a second to find a space for your shoulders to settle in, find a nice wide position of your arms, and then just give a second to kind of wiggle around your feet, your heels, and your legs so that your feet kind of turn out a little bit in their natural position. And then we just want to make sure that the tailbone feels happy and that your low back feels happy. So if at any point this doesn't feel like the best and most beneficial position to you, it might feel better to bend your knees. So just take a second to find your way into a position that feels really nice to you. And then once you found your way into a little bit of a stillness, everything's feeling good and happy with this nice open wide posture. Legs are nice and long, arms nice and wide. Maybe set a tone for your practice to just keep yourself open for possibilities, if that makes sense to you. And then just take a nice big breath into that intention. And then as you start to just slow your breath down here and deepen your inhalation, slower exhalation, just start to notice the floor beneath your body. Notice the connection points. So notice the places in the backs of your arms, the backs of your shoulders, your back, low back, hips, backs of your legs and your heels, and just notice the places that are connected to the floor. And then you might notice there are some soft places that are lifted slightly away from the floor. So just tune into the back of your body, maybe take a couple of nice deep breaths there, just noticing. And then as you tune into your back connected to the floor, maybe offer up just a little gratitude for the floor beneath you, coming up to meet you and support you. And then start to tune into the side of your body. So think ribs, sides of your legs, inner thighs, sides of your arms, noticing the places that are almost connected to the floor, but also almost connected to the ceiling, right? So that in between space. And then maybe see if you can tune into your sides of your body and notice your breath there. Take a couple of nice big inhales and exhales and just notice that sideways movement of your body. And then from here, let your awareness come to the top side of your body or the front side of your body and just notice the open space above you. Maybe notice the ceiling above you. Offer up a little gratitude for the safe space that you have to work in. And then see if you can just start to tune into the breath in the front side or the top side of your body. Just noticing the freedom to move. There's not the constriction of the floor. Maybe noticing the subtle things like the compression of your clothes on your skin or the texture of the clothes on your skin. And then for a moment, see if you can come to the idea of your body being one whole connected unit, front side, back side, side sides, and just see if you can breathe into that whole connected unit of your body. Nice. Take one more breath here, just getting that sense, that wholeness of your body. And then if your arms are still long and your legs are still long, maybe take a big good morning stretch, like a yawn. Stretch from fingers to toes. Really reach long through your fingers, move everything around, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, stretch nice and long, maybe even wiggle your ribs a little bit. Take a nice big breath in, nice slow breath out. Awesome. And then from here, start to walk your feet in, maybe to about hip width distance apart, heels close to the butt. And then just float your hands down alongside your hips. We're going to move into the feet to start. So as you inhale, you're just going to lift the toes and the balls of the feet up away from the floor, feeling a little bit of engagement in the muscles that run along the outsides of the shins. And then exhale, float your toes back down. And then do that again. Inhale and lift your toes and the balls of the feet up. And then exhale, float them back down. One more just like that. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, lower down. And then we're going to lift the heels. Inhale, lift your heels away from the floor. And exhale, float them back down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower down. Nice. And then just give pause for a second, hands alongside your hips. We're going to move into a pelvic tilt here. As you exhale, press your low back into the ground. And as you inhale, release to the natural curve of your back. Exhale to press your low back down so you feel a little bit of an engagement of the abdominal muscles, a little engagement in your quads, and then inhale, release and soften. Exhale to press. Inhale to release. Exhale to press. Inhale to release. Nice. Now we're going to take a baby bridge here. So as you inhale, you're just going to curl your tailbone slightly away from the floor. So maybe you could slide one hand under your back. And then as you exhale, roll down through the spine, pull your knees up into your chest. Give yourself a light little squeeze. And then we're going to release the feet and the hands back down to the ground. And then inhale up to a gentle rolling bridge, maybe 2 hands high. So only just a little higher. So maybe you could slide 2 hands under your back. And then exhale, roll back down. Pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a light little squeeze, and then release. Feet to the ground, hands down. Inhale, you're going to roll up about 3 hands high, so coming a little higher now. And then exhale, roll down through your spine. Once your hips touch down, pull your knees up into your chest, give yourself a light little squeeze, and then release. Feet down to the ground, hands down. Inhale, we're going to roll up about 4 hands high now, so coming a little bit higher, a little bit more engaged. Exhale, roll down through your spine. Once your hips touch down, pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a light little squeeze. Awesome. One more time, just like that. Feet to the ground, hands down. Inhale, we're going to roll up maybe about 5 hands high. So now we're getting super engaged in the backs of the legs, the glutes. Take one breath at the top. Awesome. And then when you feel ready, roll down through your spine. Once the hips touch down, pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a light little squeeze, and then a gentle rock side to side. Cool. And then from here, we're going to move into wind relieving pose or alternating knee pulls. So right knee is going to hold into the chest, left leg is going to extend long. We're going to keep the heel hovering off the ground and then switch. And then if you want to connect the breath with your movement, you're going to inhale as you switch and exhale as you squeeze the knee into the chest. And then just find a little rhythm here. Move at a pace that feels right to you. See if you can connect your breath with your movement. And then once you feel like you've got that rhythm going, if you want a little bit more work, if you want a little bit more engagement, or you just need that core work, you can always pull the abdominal muscles down, lift the chest and chin, keep that lift, and keep alternating those knees. Nice. Take 1 or 2 more pulls of the knees, or just even yourself out. And then pull both knees back into the chest, a light little squeeze, and then we're going to take it into a gentle version of legs up the wall. So super bent knees. Knees are coming a little bit closer to the chest so that our heels are still fairly in line with the hips. And then we're just going to take a gentle rocking of the tailbone. So think about lifting your tailbone up towards the ceiling and then lowering it back down. So it doesn't have to be a big grand movement, just a slight little lift of the tailbone, a little tiny engagement of the abdominal muscles. Take 1 or 2 more lifts of the tailbone. Awesome. And then let your tailbone settle down, find that neutral spine. And we're just going to take a couple of bends and straightens of the legs. Does not need to be extreme, and you don't need to straighten them all the way. We just want to start to find and feel a little length in the backs of the legs. Beautiful. Take one more up and down, and then we're going to keep the legs up, and then we're just going to point and flex the feet. So any amount of bend in the knees that feels good to you so that you're feeling comfortable in the backs of your legs. And then we're just going to point and flex the feet with a little bit of intention. So think about really drawing the toes in, finding that little pull in the backs of the calves, and then pointing the toes energetically up towards the sky. So really bringing some nice, good movement into the feet and the ankles. Beautiful. One more point and flex to the feet, and then find a sort of neutral feet. We're going to bend the knees, pull them back in towards the chest, catch hold of your kneecaps, and we're going to take our knees out in circles. So think butterfly position, and then pushing the knees up towards the ceiling. So we're just going to circle them around in one direction, moving into the hips a little bit. Nice. Take one more circle around in this direction, and then we're going to go the other way. So knees push up towards the ceiling, out and away from each other, and then into the chest. And then find a little rhythm there. Circle around at a pace that feels nice to you. Beautiful. One more circle around in this direction, and then hug both knees into the chest. Catch your shins and bring them in for a little tight squeeze. So almost to the point where you feel a little compression in the belly, and maybe it's creating a little space in the low back. Take a nice big breath in. Feel that gentle compression. Exhale nice and slow. Nice. And then with that firm handhold on your shins, arms are going to engage. We're going to push the shins into the hands. Feel your leg muscles get engaged. Feel the muscles in your back get engaged. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, soften all of that. Pull the knees into the chest. Relax your muscles. Beautiful. And then do that again. Push your shins into your hands. Hands are going to help resist. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale and let everything soften. Beautiful. One more just like that. Push your knees into your hands. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale and let everything soften. Beautiful. And then bring your legs up into a tabletop position or reverse tabletop position. We're going to take it into some dead bugs. So arms are going to reach out straight from the chest. Knees are going to be in line with the hips. And we're going to keep that 90-degree bend in the legs. Right thumb is going to reach up and touch the floor above your head. Everything else is going to stay nice and stable. Pull that thumb back up. Left thumb is going to reach up and touch the floor above your head. And then pull that thumb back up. Everything else is going to stay steady and stable. Right toes are going to touch down to the ground. And then pull that thigh back up. Everything else stays stable. Left toes touch down. And pull it back up. Everything else stays stable. Nice. Now from here, left thumb, right toes are going to lower down. Everything else stays sturdy. Bring it back up with control. Left thumb, right foot. And bring it back up. Back to that right thumb, left foot, lower down. And bring it back up. Left thumb, right foot. And bring it back down. Bring it back up. Nice. One more time. Right hand, left foot. And bring it up. Left hand, right foot. And bring it all up. Pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself a light little squeeze. And then we're going to release our feet down to the ground and let your knees drop over to the right. So think just a little knee down twist. So knees are bent, nothing extreme, just a gentle twisting as you keep your left shoulder engaged. Arms are going to open wide into a semi-T position, and then just turn your head to the left. Take 3 nice big breaths here. On your next inhale, head and knees come to center, and then we're going to drop the knees over to the left. Head's going to turn to the right, keeping your right shoulder grounded if you can. Take 3 nice big breaths here. Awesome. On your next inhale, bring it all back to center. We're going to pull the knees up towards the chest. Give one last little squeeze here. And then we're going to crisscross the ankles and then reach your hands around the outsides of your thighs and see if you can just catch hold of your toes or the tops of your feet or your ankles, whatever grab works for you. And then just start to find a gentle rock side to start. Just noticing how you feel and noticing for a second your energy level here. So we're about to rock and roll up. We all know that, right? So how's your energy? And are you feeling revved up, or are you still feeling a little bit like you need that warming up? So address that within your practice. If you're feeling like needs a little bit more gentle care, then be mindful of that and take good care of yourself the rest of the way through your practice. When you're ready, we're going to start that rock and roll. So tailbone to top of head, find a little bit of momentum, and then rock and roll your way all the way up to a nice, easy seated position. So legs are going to be crossed, wiggle into your sits bones, find that nice tall spine, and then just give a second as you come up to that seated position. Close your eyes down, head, heart, hips in line, shoulders soften down and back, tune back into your breath. Take a nice big breath in, nice slow breath out. Beautiful. We're going to take one hand to the heart center. So we're going to put a little bit of a gentle press into the skin or even the texture of your clothes. So we're just going to put a little bit of a press. Think about trapping the skin underneath your hand and then keeping that little bit of a trap there. You're going to inhale, lift your chin up to the sky. Exhale and tuck your chin down to your chest. Inhale and lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. Inhale to lift your chin up. Exhale to tuck your chin down. You're going to bring your head to a neutral space and then switch hands. Other hand's going to find that heart center. Put a gentle press. Inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to tuck down. We'll take one more breath just like that. Beautiful. And then bring your head to a neutral space. Release your hand from your heart. Left hand's going to touch the ground. Right hand's going to reach up. Take a nice gentle side bend. Lean in just a little bit and then lift yourself right back up. And then we'll do that again. Lean in just a little bit and then lift yourself right back up. And this time we're going to lean in and just go to a depth that feels nice to you. Keeping your sits bones nice and anchored, feeling a nice generous stretch through the side of your body, reaching through the fingertips. Maybe draw the thumb back, look up to the sky, take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, right hand's going to touch the ground, left hand's going to reach up, lean in just a little bit, and then draw yourself back up. Nice. Lean in just a little bit, and then draw yourself back up. This time, lean in as much as you like, keeping your sits bones anchored, finding some length through the side of the body, reaching through the fingertips, maybe pulling the thumb back. Come back to your breath. Nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. Awesome. Lift yourself up nice and slow and controlled, and we're taking it into a twist. Right hand's going to find the left knee. A nice deep twist to start, just to tune in, feel how your spine feels, how's your back feel, how does the skin and the muscles on the side of the body feel. Take one good breath. And then we're going to soften that twist up. So think about facing your heart towards your knee and then keeping that slightly subtler twist there. Then find a nod of your head up and down, just lifting the chin up to the sky and tucking your chin down to your chest. Beautiful. Take one more up and down. And then bring your head to neutral and unwind. Take it over to the other side. Left hand's going to find the right knee. Nice big twist, just to kind of really crank into it this morning. Take a nice big breath. And then release it just a little bit. So your heart is facing your knee. And then once you found that softer version of the twist, start to find the nod of the head up and down, lifting your chin up and tucking it into your chest. Nice. One more nod of the head up and down. And then bring your head to a neutral space. Unwind, come to center into an easy seated fold. We're just going to walk ourselves out to a depth that feels comfortable. Tune in. Notice your knees, notice your hips, and notice your back. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. And then we're going to pull the fingers along the floor. Drag yourself up. Swim your hands behind your back. Nice tall fingers. Lift your chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Lift your chin. A gentle back bend. And then release that back bend, but keep your hands behind you so you can lean back into your sits bones. Switch the cross in your legs. Rearrange your sits bones as needed. And then swim those hands forward again. Find that easy seated forward fold. Reaching out as long as feels comfortable to you. Tuning in again. Sometimes we feel just those subtle variations just by switching the cross in the legs. Notice your knees. Notice your hips. Notice your back. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then drag your fingers, pull yourself up nice and strong. Swim the hands behind the back, a gentle back bend again. Lift your chest, lift your chin, squeeze your shoulder blades. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release and find your way into a tabletop position or come onto all fours. Knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. Take a second to get yourself all sorts of arranged. And then once you've found your way there, we're going to take a second to find some really nice, sturdy posture in our tabletop. So spread your fingers nice and wide, index fingers pointing towards the top of the mat, maybe if that feels comfortable. Press the floor away from you, broaden your shoulders, firm up your center. Feel the tops of your feet and your shins pressing into the earth. Lengthen the back of your neck, gaze down between your thumbs and take a nice big conscious breath. Awesome. And then with that sense of that nice sturdy floor underneath you, press the floor away from you and then start to draw a really small and subtle circle with your table. Go in one direction, but keep that mindful connection of your hands connected to the floor, the tops of your feet connected to the floor, and your knees connected to the floor. Beautiful. Take one more circle around in this direction and then that super subtle circle go in the other direction. So it doesn't have to be big and grand, just to tune in. Notice your hands, notice your knees, notice the tops of your feet touching the ground. Lovely. One more circle around and then bring it into a neutral position. We're going to slide the right leg back, toes curled under, take a couple of rocks forward and back to work into the heel and the calf. The next time you press back into that heel, stay there for a breath or two, getting a nice long line from the back of the heel up into the glutes, maybe even noticing up to the crown of your head. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then soften, bring it all back up and in. And then we're going to switch sides. Left leg's going to slide back, toes curled under. Take a few good rocks forward and back. Beautiful. And then the next time you press back into that heel, stay there for a breath or two, just noticing the back of your leg, maybe noticing all the way up to the glutes, through the back side of the body up to the crown of your head. Awesome. And then slide that leg back in right into your cat and cow breath here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale to round your back. Inhale to drop your belly. Exhale to round. One more just like that. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale to round. Nice. And now we're going to add on. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. As you exhale, you're going to round and pull your right knee in towards your nose and then release your right knee back down. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale, pull the left knee in toward your nose and round. And then release that knee back down. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round, pull the right knee in. Inhale to release. Exhale to pull the left knee in. Inhale to release. Nice. One more time each side. Exhale, pull the right knee in. Inhale to release. Exhale to pull the left knee in. Inhale to release. Beautiful. Big toes together, knees to the outer edges of your mat. come to extended child's pose. Pull your butt back to your heels, belly, chest, forehead, soften down, and then make a nice wide space for your shoulders and your arms. Let your arms be super soft. Let your forehead get nice and heavy towards the earth. Wiggle your hips around in any way that you need to so that your hips feel like they're in a happy and comfortable position. No pinching, no electric or shooting pain. Notice how your body feels, and then just take a couple nice deep breaths here. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to stay nice and low, but lift slightly. Walk your hands over towards the left side of your mat, over and off, and then pick your right hand up, stack it on top of your left. Let your elbows soften down. Let your chest and your forehead soften down. Take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. Beautiful. Then bring it through center and over and off the other side of your mat. So off the right edge, left hand's going to stack on top of the right, elbows heavy and soft, forehead softened down. Take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. Beautiful. And then walk it through center. We're going to take a thread the needle here with this wide leg position. So lift your bum slightly just so you have some space to tuck your arm through and underneath. So right ear, right shoulder are going to rotate under and find the floor. So we're finding that little bit of rotation, letting your head touch down to the ground, then let your hips get heavy back toward your heels. Take 3 nice big breaths here. Awesome. And then when you're ready, unwind. And we're going to take that to the other side. So just a little lift of your bum away from your heels, make some space, thread your left hand through and underneath, left ear, left shoulder to the ground, and then let your hips get heavy back toward your heels and take 3 nice big breaths here. On your next inhale, slowly start to unwind. Bringing it all back to center, reaching long through the fingers like a little cat stretch, really pull your butt back, let your belly drop down just a little bit more. And then on your next inhale, start to float your way back up into a tabletop position. Walk your knees in, give your hips a little bop side to side just to soothe it out from that child's pose position. And then we're going to take it right into a puppy pose or heart melting pose. So see if you can keep your hips fairly in line with your knees. Walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat. Let your chest and your forehead melt down into a comfortable position that you can breathe comfortably. Head softens down. Take 1 or 2 breaths here. Great. And then from here, we're going to start to find our way into a Sphinx position. So lift up slightly, bring your elbows and forearms down. So your elbows are going to be in line with the shoulders. Step your feet to the back edge of your mat into a little bit of a low plank. Pause in that plank for a second if you like doing that core work. And then when you're ready, release your knees down to the ground, release your toes, bringing your hips heavy into the earth, heart lifting up, squeezing between the shoulder blades, pressing up through the crown of your head. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. On the next inhale, you're going to lift your chin slightly up. And then on your exhale, you're going to tuck your chin slightly down. Inhale to lift your chin slightly up. Exhale to tuck down. One more just like that. Inhale to lift. Exhale to tuck down. Bring your head to neutral. We're going to curl the toes under and find our way up into a dolphin position. So front half of the body is in Sphinx. Back half of the body finds its way into a downward dog position. So start to step your feet in into a place that it's comfortable for your shoulders. Take 1 good breath. Awesome. And then pick up your heels, float your knees down, find your way back into that tabletop position. And then in that tabletop position, we're going to curl the toes under, pull your butt back to your heels, find your way up into a downward facing dog, lifting your hips up nice and high into that upside down V shape. And then take a few good pedals of the legs here. Let your hips move, let your shoulders move, let your elbows move, let anything move that feels good. Lovely. Take one or two more pedals of the legs. And then when you're ready, we're going to look to the top of the mat, walk yourself forward, find a ragdoll position at the top of the mat. So feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart, making some space for your belly and your chest. Let everything hang nice and heavy. If it feels good, grab your elbows and let gravity do a little extra work for you here. And then see if you can tune back into your breath. Just take a couple of nice, gentle inhales and exhales. Nice. And then if it feels good, invite a gentle sway into the body, just a little gentle rock side to side. Beautiful. One more little rock side to side. And then when you come back to center, float your fingers down to the ground, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up nice and slow and controlled. Take your time. And then as you come up, give a couple of good shrugs of the shoulders, get yourself all situated in your standing position, make sure everything's feeling good. And as it is 7:32 or 33, if you have to get on with the rest of your day, I hope it's amazing. But if you're sticking around, find a mountain pose at the top of your mat, feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart, whichever feels like a better stance to you, toes pointing fairly forward, lifting up through the front of the body, up through the crown of the head, shoulders soften down, and then bring just a little life into your fingertips. Pause here in this nice, strong posture and notice your breath. Take one more breath. Feel your feet nice and grounded on the floor. Awesome. On your next inhale, reach your arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold down to the ground. Inhale to a half forward fold position. Exhale to soften down, bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up nice and slow. Roll your shoulders around, down and back. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. This time, keep that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. This time, exhale, soften down. Press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. We're going to interlace the fingers, flip the palms, press them forward, make some space for your shoulder blades, and then press deep into those palms. Feel that nice good stretch in the fingers, the palms, maybe even noticing some space in the wrists. For a second here, just close your eyes down, tune into your hands, take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then if it feels available, soften your elbows a little bit, float the arms up and overhead, make some room for your shoulder blades. And then once that feels good, press into the palms, straighten the arms just as much as feels good. And then from here, we're going to take a couple of tick-tock side to side. So just side bending in a way that feels good to you and a depth that feels good to you, just to bring some length through the sides of the body again. Beautiful. Take one more tick-tock each side or even yourself out. And then as you come back to center, unlace your fingers, float your arms down at your sides, roll your shoulders down and back, and then just take a second to notice your hands, notice your arms, notice your wrists. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And keeping that little bit of life in the fingers, we're going to lift the heels away from the floor. So on an inhale, just lift up, just as high as feels good. Exhale and float your heels back down. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, lower down. One more just like that. Inhale and lift up. Exhale and lower down. Shift your weight over to your left foot. We're going to pick the right heel up. Big toe is going to stay on the ground. We're going to circle the ankle 3 times in one direction and then circle your ankle 3 times the other way. Nice. And then set that foot down, shift your weight onto your right foot, pick up your left heel, big toe stays on the ground, circle your left heel in one direction, and then circle your left heel the other way. Nice. And then set that foot down, feet about hip width distance apart, toes and knees pointing forward. Inhale, reach up and grab that imaginary beach ball above your head. Exhale, sink into a little chair. Inhale, rise right back up. Exhale, cactus your arms, open your chest, look to the sky. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, sink down. Think about pulling ribs in towards each other as you sink your butt down. Beautiful. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, open your chest. Let the ribs flare just a little bit. Inhale and reach up. Exhale, sink down, ribs draw in. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, cactus the arms. 2 more to go here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to sink, ribs pull in. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, open your chest. Last one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink into your chair. Maybe stay for one extra breath here. On your next inhale, rise up. Exhale, cactus your arms. Maybe stay for one extra breath here. On your next inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, you're just going to fold everything down to the ground. We're going to step both feet back to a downward facing dog position. Take a couple of pedals of the legs here. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to pick up the heels, lower the knees, come into tabletop position. We're going to walk it back to a plank. So get your wrists fairly in line with your shoulders. Find a good, comfortable handhold first, and then step your feet to the back of your mat. Firm up your center, broaden your shoulders, nice long neck. Take 3 good solid breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready, float your knees down to the ground, bend your elbows lower with control onto your belly. Once you're down, bend your knees, take a couple little swishes of the heels side to side just to soothe the low back and massage the quads. Nice. One more rock of the heels side to side, and then float your feet back down to the ground. Toenails press into the earth. Tailbone's going to draw slightly towards the heel, so we create a little space in the low back. Hands alongside the shoulders, 3 low cobras. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Nice. And now we're going to take it into intense shoulder stretch. Right hand's going to reach out straight from the shoulder. We're going to press into the left hand, pulling the left shoulder up and back. Turn your head to the left and notice how that feels. This might be enough. And if it is, stay right here. If this feels great, but you want a little bit more sensation, think about rolling onto your right hip, stepping your left foot behind you. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, if that foot is stepped behind you, step it back in, rolling onto your belly, slide your right hand in, send your left arm long, reaching straight out from the shoulder, press into your right hand, right shoulder draws up and back. That might be enough. If it's not and you want more sensation, you're going to roll onto the left hip, stepping your right foot behind you and taking a nice big breath here. Awesome. And then when you're ready, rolling back onto your center, sliding that left hand in, pushing your way all the way back to child's pose. Big toes together, knees together. Pull your butt back to your heels, slide your hands back, touch the soles of your feet. Let your head soften down. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Great. And then we're going to start to engage the back side of the body. Inhale. We're going to reach to the fingertips, airplane the arms, lift through the back of the body, and then exhale, soften and round. Inhale to lift. Exhale to soften. One more just like that. Inhale to lift. Exhale to soften. And now we're going to float the hands to the low back. So just see if you can take your hands up to the low back. Now we're going to start to find some engagement in the legs. So we're going to start to press into the tops of the feet and the tops of the shin. As you inhale, you're going to lift into a high kneel position. Arms are going to reach up and overhead, look to the sky. And then as you exhale, you're going to float the butt back to the heels. Hands are going to find the low back. Beautiful. Inhale, rise up into that high kneel position. Arms reach up, look up. Exhale, bring it back, hands to the low back. Beautiful. One more just like that. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to sit back on your heels. Nice. And then float your hands forward, find your way into a tabletop position, curl the toes under, and exhale up to down dog. Look forward, walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of your mat into a forward fold position. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Hands to heart center, press your palms together, shift your weight into your left foot, pick your right heel up, pull the knee up away from the floor. Take one good breath. Float that foot back down, shift your weight over to your right foot. Pick your left knee up. Float that foot down, let your hands come down at your sides. Nice. Inhale, arms up, look up, let the hands meet, let the chest lift as you look up. Exhale, fold everything down. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to down dog. Pick up your heels, lower your knees, come into tabletop position. We're going to step the right foot up into a lunge. So step your right foot forward, hands free or use your hands, totally up to you, but we want to square that lunge up. So think about finding a 90-90 bend with the knees. Think about pulling that right hip crease back so your hips feel nice and square. Right hand can keep on the hip, left hand is going to reach up, take 3 gentle side bends, lean over to the right, and then lift back up. Lean over to the right, and lift back up. Lean over to the right and lift back up. Nice. Float your hands down to the ground. We're going to toe heel that back leg into a bigger low lunge. So knees going to stay on the ground. Release your toes or keep them tucked. That'll be totally up to you. Pause here for just a second. Heart forward, look forward, take a breath. Nice. And then we're going to take 3 rocks forward and back. So finding your half splits and then back to that low lunge. Take 2 more just like that. Lovely. And then the next time you come forward in that low lunge, we're going to curl the back toes under, pick the back knee up, left hand's going to stay on the ground, right hand's going to reach up for a little twist. Beautiful. When you're ready, float that right hand down, release that back knee, and then step that front foot back into a tabletop position. Give your hips a little bop side to side, and then we're going to set it up to the other side. So left foot's going to step forward, finding that nice squared up lunge. Find that 90-90. Square up your hips to the best of your ability. Left hand to the hip, right hand reaches up. We lean over to the left, and then bring it back up. Lean over to the left, and bring it back up. Beautiful. One more just like that. Lean over to the left. Nice. And then bring it back up. Beautiful. Float your hands down to the ground. We're going to walk that right leg back, finding that nice low lunge, toes tucked or released, totally up to you. Heart forward, look forward, take a breath. Awesome. And then start to find that rocking forward and back. Half splits to low lunge, only going to a depth that feels right in your body. Beautiful. And then the next time you come forward into that low lunge position, we're going to curl the back toes under, pick the back knee up. Right hand's going to stay on the ground. Left hand's going to reach up for a twist. Nice. And then when you're ready, left hand's going to come down. Bring that back knee down, stepping that front leg back into tabletop position. Give your hips a little bop side to side. Awesome. And then when you're ready, you're either going to crisscross your ankles and sit back on your heels or spin your legs out in any way that feels good. So legs are out in front of you nice and long. So now we're going to bring a little life into our legs. Think about pulling your toes in towards your body. Legs are nice and active. Hands alongside the hips. Press into your palms. Find your tallest spine that you can find. Pressing up through the crown of the head. Feet are active, legs are active. The whole body is engaged here. So we have that nice lifting up position of the spine and the reaching long position of the legs with the toes drawing in. Take one more breath here. Awesome. And let all of that soften, bounce out your knees, wiggle out your toes. And we're going to take it into a revolved head to knee pose. So start by just finding a nice wide position of the legs, turning the toes out slightly. So think about pulling the toes outward away from you. So we just find a nice activeness in the inner thighs. And then just for a second, walk yourself into a little stretch, forward fold, take a nice big breath. and then walk yourself back up. Now we're gonna bend the right knee. Think about pulling it in. So we're gonna keep our hips facing forward, legs are in an external rotation. Left elbow is gonna find the inside of the inner thigh, pulling those bottom ribs forward. Top arm is gonna reach up, reaching towards your toes. Does not matter if you touch your toe. We just wanna find some nice length through the side of the body, down into where the side body meets the low back. One more breath. Awesome. And then lift yourself up nice and slow and controlled. And we're going to switch. So we're just going to lean back into the sits bones, bring the other leg in, send the other leg out. Toes are active. So we get a little action in the inner thigh, and then bring that right elbow to the inner thigh. Bottom ribs pull forward, top arm reaches up, reaching towards the toe, and then finding that space through the side of the body into where the low back meets the side body. Nice. Take one more breath. Beautiful. Lift up nice and slow. Soles of the feet are going to come together into that cobbler's pose or butterfly position or Baddha Konasana, whatever you like to call it. Give everything a good wiggle so your sits bones feel good, knees feel good and happy. And we're going to take a couple of leans forward and bring it back up. So just go to a rhythm that feels good to you. Gently lean your heart forward and then draw it back up. Just make sure that your knees feel good. Hips are happy about this position. You can always make your diamond shape a little bit wider or a little closer, whichever feels better. Awesome. And then the next time you come forward, go to your edge. Go as deep as you like, leaning your chest as far forward as feels good. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Wonderful. And then the next time you feel ready, lift your head up, keeping your legs in that butterfly position. If you can, we're going to come down onto our backside. So start by just kind of bringing your elbows and forearms down. Give your tailbone a little wag. Make sure everything feels good. And then start to walk your elbows wide, lower yourself down, and then just rearrange your heels in a position that feels right. Make sure your tailbone feels good and all is happy. Reach your arms straight out from your chest like you're holding a ball in front of your chest. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to pull the abdominal muscles down towards the spine, lift the chest and chin. Inhale to lower back down. Exhale to squeeze and lift up. Inhale to lower down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. We're going to lift and hold. So on your next exhale lift, think about pulling the abdominal muscles towards the spine, up into the ribs, really keeping a nice firm center, reaching through the fingertips, create a little space through the front of the neck and the throat. Hold it here for 1 or 2 more breaths. Awesome. And then when you're ready, slow and controlled, lower yourself down. We're going to grab the outsides of the thighs, pull those knees in together, pull them into the chest, give yourself a little squeeze. And then we're going to set ourselves up into a figure 4. So left foot's going to touch down onto the ground. Right leg is going to come across the left. 3 lifts and lowers, hands free. Lift your left leg up, lower it back down. Arrange your leg if it needs repositioning. If you're ready, lift up again and lower it back down. 1 more just like that. Lift up, lower it down. Foot's going to stay on the ground. Elbows are going to come alongside the ribs, fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to use our elbows for a little leverage into a single leg bridge. Inhale, lift your hips up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. 1 more just like that. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. And now we're going to pick the left leg up and then see how it feels to thread the hands through. Maybe grab the back of the thigh or the top of the shin. Arrange everything so it's in a comfortable position, and then start to draw it in with your level of comfort. So notice your breath here. If everything feels like it's really constricted and it's all super tight, where can you soften up? Make some room for your breath. Soften your shoulders. And then let the gentle breath do the work for you here. So no need to be extreme, no need to yank on yourself, but allow that softness of the breath to draw you just a little deeper into your stretch. Take one more breath here. And now we're going to take it into a figure 4 twist. So you're going to release your grab from the back of your thigh or your shin. Let your left foot touch down to the ground. Keep that figure 4 position of the legs. We're going to drop the right foot over to the left. Arms are going to open nice and wide. Once that foot finds the ground, pause for a second, see how everything feels. And then if it feels really good and you want a little extra sensation, you can bring the left hand to the right inner thigh and gently press the inner thigh open just to a point that you feel sensation. And it should be a nice, comfortable sensation, nothing extreme. Take 3 nice big breaths here. Awesome. And then if your hand is on the inner thigh, go ahead and release it. We're going to float the legs back up to center and then cross the right leg over the left like you're crossing your legs in a chair. So just repositioning that right leg. And then if it feels good, lift up, grab the tops of your shins or the tops of your feet, whichever grab feels more available. Pull the toes slightly away from each other, hug the knees into the chest, take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then gently release, unwind your legs, step them down for a second, just tune in and notice. And then when you're ready, left leg is going to come across the right into that figure 4 to the other side. Hands free to start. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale and lower down. Reposition if you need to. And then if you're ready, inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Awesome. One more just like that. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Elbows are going to press into the floor, fingertips up towards the ceiling. Our elbows are our leverage. Inhale, lift your hips up into that single leg bridge. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower, lift the right leg up, thread the hands through. Find the handhold that works best for you. Draw it in gently with the breath, keeping your shoulders soft, belly soft, jaw soft. Awesome. And then when you're ready, we'll release our grab from the thigh or the shin, float the right foot down to the ground, keep that figure 4 position. Left foot's going to drop over to the right. Arms can come out nice and wide. Maybe turn your head to the left if that feels comfortable. And then if all of that is good and you want that extra sensation, right hand is going to find the left inner thigh. And you're just going to gently press the knee down towards the end of your mat, or just think about pressing it open just a little bit, just to the point where you feel a good, comfortable sensation. Take one more breath. And then release your hand if you were pressing into the thigh. Float your legs back to center. Cross your left leg over the right like you're crossing your legs in a chair. And then lift up and find your handhold again. Maybe the shins or the tops of the feet, whichever feels like a better grab. Toes pull away from each other, knees pull into the chest. So hopefully you're finding a little sensation down in your left glute. Take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. Awesome. And then when you're ready, release, unwind, step your feet super wide to the outer edges of your mat. Take a couple windshield wipers of the knees here. Nice. Take one more rock of the knees side to side. And then when you're ready, you're just going to start to find your way into your version of Shavasana that would work best for you today. You might opt for constructive rest with the knees collapsing into each other. You might opt for a Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined cobbler's pose with the soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. Or you might take a variation of any of those versions, a little tree pose, anything that feels good to your body here. Maybe come back to that starfish position with the arms up and overhead. So just play around for a second. Find your body into a nice, comfortable stillness that makes sense to you. Take a moment or two to tune in, work out all those last little wiggles. Make sure your shoulder blades feel good, tailbone is happy, hair is in a good, comfortable place. And then think about maybe closing your eyes down or soften your gaze. Allow your breath to soften back to its natural rhythm. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana as long as you like, as long as your body asks for or your time allows. But if you feel called to do so, gently start to reawaken your body. Maybe wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, maybe find some gentle movement of your head. Maybe start to deepen your breath. And then if your legs are in any sort of bent knee position, maybe think about just stepping your feet long to the end of your mat, keeping a little bit of a softness in the knees. We're going to bring our hands together, clap the hands together, fire up the palms just a little bit, bring a little bit of warmth and awareness into your palms. And then we're going to make our hands into some light little fists. And then we're going to take our light little fists and we're going to do 3 little knocks at our hip bones. So just give a tap, 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 a super gentle tap. And then we're going to take it up to the low belly. So below the belly button, but above the hip bones, and give a light tap, tap, tap. And then we're going to bring it to the solar plexus, firm up your center just a little bit, give a little tap, tap, tap. And then we're going to take those hands right up to the heart center, give a little tap, tap, tap. Nice. And then we're just going to warm up our hands again, just to find a little awareness back into those palms. Hook your thumbs like you're making a little shadow puppet butterfly, and then gently hug your hands around your throat and your neck. Take a nice gentle breath in. Nice gentle breath out. Cool. And then we're just going to release that. Take your index fingers, give a light little tap, tap, tap right to that third eye center. And then interlace your fingers, Charlie's Angel Mudra. Stretch your arms up and overhead. Stretch through your toes. Take a nice big giant breath back into your body. Awesome. And then when you're ready, in your own time, in your own way, find yourself up into a nice comfortable seated position. Sukhasana or any other seat that suits your body best. And then as you find your way into your comfortable seated position, take a moment to find that comfortable seat, close your eyes if it feels good, and then see if you can bring your head, your heart, and your hips in line. So it feels like your back is leaning against an imaginary wall. And then once you've found that, you're going to flip palms, palms open facing the sky, and just feel that nice, cool bit of air on your palms. Take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. Index finger and thumb are going to come to touch. Take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. And then on your next inhale, you're going to gather your hands together at heart center in Anjali Mudra, bowing your head to your heart or bowing your mind to your body. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And I send my love and gratitude out to you. Thank you for sharing your morning with me. Gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you, you beautiful, beautiful people.